Hello again, Honky Tonks. Now, for those of you who like my walkie-talkies, and I appreciate not everyone does, some people like my other format, but I'm responding to a poll I put on this channel a few weeks ago asking you what you wanted, and most of you wanted half and half. So anyway, this is my last one for a week or so, as I'm going to be a very busy boy. I may do shorts or the other formats if I've got time, and that's that. Anyway, Mizzy, remember him? He was a lad who terrorised London and Londoners for a while until he got caught, and he's done prison time for it. He's now out. He follows me on Twitter, shockingly. So if you're watching, yes, I do believe you deserve a second chance. Everyone does. After all, how can we be a Christian nation and Christianity is in decline, and we bleat on about it if we don't practice it? Everyone deserves a second chance. After that, it's on them. They can't blame anyone then, can they? So he did time, and what Mizzy did, he didn't kill anyone. He wasn't a murderer, a rapist, he wasn't a terrorist, didn't hurt anyone. He was just an arse. The things he did were, I know humour is subjective, but they were morally unacceptable. They really were. He rode on top of a bus in London. He went up to people on train stations, touched them, even a woman, and asked them, do you want to die? He would walk in unannounced and uninvited into people's houses who stupidly left their doors open in London. It's not the 60s anymore, you can't do that. Well, they had kids inside. He'd organise mass build-up of his mates somewhere and just run riot and run away. And just stuff like that, you know. It wasn't... I didn't find it funny. And I can't remember what he did, but he did something. I think he breached a bail, which landed him in nick. But now he's out, and according to him, he's trying to turn his life around, and fair play. He's doing it for his kid and himself. Anyone who tries for their kids and just to stop being an arse, leave people be, they've got my support, and I do support him. I applaud him, I tip my hat, and I hope and wish all the best for him and his kid in the future. Get a job, be a dad, be there for your kid. Be a productive member of society. If you want to be a part of society, if you want to keep to yourself, fine. Just leave people alone, live and let live, that's what I say. So yeah, give the guy a chance. Why not? I'm getting kind of stick for it on Twitter, but there we go. People trust him, people don't. That's completely up to you. But it's up to him to prove us or prove them wrong, isn't it? And it is proof. If it is prison that has reformed him, then it works, kind of. I mean, I was a prison officer for 11 years. I've seen men and young offenders turn their lives around after years of being in and out of the justice system. The prison can be a revolving door. It really can. But some of them who try and had enough of it, they really do. They've had enough. It doesn't do it for them anymore. And they just move on. They get jobs, they better themselves, get off the drugs. So, you know, prison isn't just there to punish. It is there to reform as well. And I hope it works with Mizzy, because I've seen it work. Prison can indeed reform. Prison does need an overhaul. HMP in general and the private prisons, because there's stuff going on in there, in these establishments, which you don't even know about. And I think it's mainly down to immigration. A lot of people, Caucasian British prisoners, are being converted to a certain ideology through fear, because if they don't, they get violence placed upon them. Now, if I remember, the Home Secretary is legally bound, duty bound by law, to deport foreign criminals who are here, committed crime, if they've been sentenced to at least 12 months in prison. They do 12 months and they bugger off. But the ECHR stops that. That's why we need to leave it. When I voted for Brexit back in 2016, I wanted out lock, stock and barrel. I don't believe we ever left the EU. We're still in some ways, and in some ways they're still dictating to us how to do things, etc. And I don't like that. I know Rishi Sunak is unelected. I know Vaughan Gething is unelected. Hamza Useless is unelected. The new Irish Taoiseach, he's unelected. The difference here in Britain, we've got elections, which means we can vote them out. Unlike the EU, the bureaucrats at the top table of the EU in Brussels, we can't vote them out. Or the poor Europeans, sovereign states, they can't vote them out, and that's a problem. Do you want someone who's never been elected to dictate to you how to live your life? I don't. I really don't. It's still possible to be friends and make trade with the EU without being part of it, but they don't they? They just want our money. And as Guy Verhofstadt once said, every nation state member of the EU should give up their sovereignty to us. That's wrong, isn't it? That's completely wrong. But immigration is a massive, massive problem, and the church hasn't helped either. You've got people here who have come here either legally or illegally, or the guy who stabbed the poor woman in the neck, or whatever the hell he stabbed her in front of her baby. He was here on a student visa. He overstayed his welcome. Now look what happened. He was arrested here in Aylesbury. Aylesbury has a high population of his demographic. Do you get the feeling you're being watched? And I am, and it's a dog. Oh, he's there somewhere. I like dogs, mate, I really do. Anyway, where was I? Immigration. It's turned out there are people who have emigrated here and committed serious, terrible crimes. Not stuff like Mizzy has done. These are unforgivable crimes. Murder, rape, terrorism, being parts of criminal gangs. And yet they've been allowed to stay here because of the ECHR and the church. You've got priests, vicars, same thing, aren't they? Advocating that they've turned to Christianity because they're stupidly bleeding-hearted individuals. And it's on them as well. And it turns out they've lied. There's a guy who said he converted to Christianity and he can't go back to where he came from because he committed a crime here. Because they persecute him. And then he mistook Good Friday for Black Friday. There's another fella from Afghanistan, had a tattoo of a cross on his arm. Oh, I can't go back now, look at that. I'm an apostate, they'll kill me. There's loads of them who convert to Christianity and don't even go to church. I know you don't have to go to church, but surely, at least if you're going to pretend and try and keep up the facade, then you go to church, wouldn't you? Well, it's only one day a week. If you were that scared of going back to your home country for being prosecuted for being Christian, then surely you'd go to church every Sunday, wouldn't you? Am I right? Yeah. But the church needs to answer. The Archbishop of Canterbury has advocated for these people, members of his congregation, vicars, etc. They've all advocated for people who've come here illegally or legally and committed crimes that they are Christians now, and in fact they're not. And they can't prove they are either. It's horrendous. So there we go, that's my video, that's me rant, hope you like. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to my channel, sharing my stuff everywhere. Comment, let me know what you think. Oh, and there's a channel I need to promote as well, UK Patriots 2.0. I remember on my previous channel promoting him back then, and he's back. Fair play to him. And there we go. Let's have more of you, that's what I say. And that's that. I'll see you again soon. I'm Paz49. Thanks for watching, listening. Until the next time, watch your trout.